Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. So Sunday dinners at the Galley of the Sun here at the Oasis are always a big to-do. Plenty of people coming over and it's always a good time. And there's high expectations for the food. So tomorrow we're going to do something special with pork belly. We're going to make smoked weaved pork belly. So I saw a video on TikTok. Thank you, Daniel, for sending that to me. That's what triggered these ideas in my head. We're going to do it a little bit different than the guy did on TikTok. Don't want to be a copycat, but I think I can do it better. So tonight, we do that first step of making it better. We're going to let that pork belly sit in some ancho chipotle brine overnight. Now, I've talked about this brine and plenty of other videos from the Sweetwater Spice Company. I get it from All Things Barbecue out of Wichita, Kansas, where good people come from. And don't let the name Ancho Chipotle scare you. This is not spicy at all, but it has a ton of smoky, deep flavor. Oh, just incredible. So, we're going to take our briner bucket. We're going to take our damn near 10-pound pork belly, get that in there and get it brining. If you don't have one of these briner buckets, they are certainly worth it. Smaller things, it's easy to brine those in a Ziploc bag. But when you have something bigger like this, this is the way to go. All right, so our pork is in there safely. Wash the paws and then we'll get the brine in there. All right, we're gonna dump the whole bottle in there and then we're gonna fill this up with water until we have that complete pork belly covered. Oh, look at that stuff. It is concentrated. Oh, the aroma is incredible. This is going to be great. So I'm going to get this finished up and we will see you tomorrow when we get this covered and rubbed and get it weaved and get it on the smoker. It is going to be epic. All right. See you then. So last night we got our pork belly in the brine. We were inspired to do this by a TikTok video sent by one of our subscribers. Thank you very much, Daniel, for sending it. But we're going to give it more of a Mexican/Latin twist because I'm hoping to have some leftovers, and with those leftovers will be another episode of ours, Pork Belly Street Tacos. Also, another one of our subscribers contacted us yesterday on Messenger, and Master Chief Sarah Morales is very happy that she has her brand new smoker and is ready to get going. So, Sarah, if you try out this recipe, it is going to blow your guests away. So, first thing we're going to do today is get that pork belly out of that brine and then get it dried off just a little bit. All right, there's a lesson learned for you. So, when I was dumping the brine out of the bucket, I could see that I didn't mix it up well at all last night. What we should have done is poured the concentrated brine in there, get the pork belly in there, fill it up to with water to make sure that we have the pork belly fully submerged, take the pork belly back out, mix the hell out of it so it's all homogeneous, and then get the pork belly back in. Lesson learned. I can tell that it did get covered, but one side of this is going to be much more covered than the other. But the way we're doing this, that's not really going to matter, and you'll see why here soon. All right, next thing we're going to do is take the fat side and cross hatch it, making a cool diamond pattern. This is going to do a couple things for us. One, it's going to make it pretty. Number two, it's going to allow more of that rub to penetrate down into the meat. So I'm only cutting about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch deep here. So if we were just doing a regular pork belly, now's the time that you'd hit it with the rub and get it ready to go out on the grill. But we're doing something really special. So I'm going to turn this back over. And you can see this side that got more of the concentrated brine than the other side is darker. But it'll work out for us. I'm going to start in the very middle here, and after about a 1/2 inch, I'm going to start to cut. And I'm going to cut all the way through the pork belly, straight down. I'm going to go through that and make sure we go all the way through. Okay? And then at the same point, I'm going to make 2 more cuts on this side and 2 more cuts on this side for a total of 5 cuts. And try and get those as even as I possibly can, and the starting point is the same as the first one. Do the same on the other side. Now what we're left with is a pork belly with 6 tentacles. It's like a porktopus. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is get some rub all over that. As I said, leftovers are going to be pork belly street tacos, so I'm going with a Latin profile here. This is Twisted Q's Magic Mojo seasoning. It says Latin spices with coconut sugar, sea salt, and citrus. And it smells very Latin-y. Latin-like, Latin-ish. Getting a little bit in between the tentacles here. Hit this side. Now I'm going to put my braiding skills to the test. So here's what you want to do. Get 3 tentacles to one side, 3 tentacles to the other side. I'm going to take the outside one on my left, your right, and go underneath all of this. And that's okay if you're, in fact, you want to curl up the end. So get as much over there as you can. And then you're on the next 3, you're going to go over, under, over. Now, we're going to take the one on the far right for me, left for you. That's going to go underneath this whole mess. And it's going to go over, under, over. And we're going to repeat that until we have this whole thing weaved up, braided, if you will. Then you do the best you can to tuck in the ends here. And there we go. We got our braided pork belly. Now I'm going to get this onto a pan so I can get that transferred to the smoker. Oh yeah. Now my Yoder YS640 grill is at 250 degrees. I have cherry wood in there. Any kind of fruit wood is excellent for pork. Cherry, peach, apple, pecan's a good one too. So this is going to cook for about 3 to 4 hours until I get an internal temperature of about 160. Now, 145 is safe for pork as long as you get it in and let it rest for about an hour covered. However, with the pork belly, there's so much fat in there and intermuscular fat that you can't really go wrong. You will not have tough pork belly as long as you keep that temperature somewhere internal between 145 and 203, all the way up to brisket or pulled pork temperature. But we're going to go to about 165 because we want some structural integrity with it still. So out we go. All right, so the pork belly's been on about an hour and a half. Now it's time to start getting the glaze together. Now, for something as epic as this pork belly is going to be, we need an epic glaze. We are going to make a pomegranate bourbon glaze. So, I got the ingredients out in front of me. I got butter, and all the amounts are down in the description, garlic, brown sugar bourbon, pomegranate molasses, Dijon mustard, and some ground cloves. So we're going to put that together on the stove, let it cool, and then we'll be ready to glaze that pork belly the last hour or so that it cooks. All right, getting this together is real easy. Butter goes in a saucepan. We melt it. Once that butter's melted, in goes the garlic. And we cook that until we get that awesome garlic aroma. It takes about 30 seconds. Then in goes the rest of the ingredients. The bourbon, the Dijon, the cloves, and the molasses. Now we want to bring that to a boil. It won't take long. You want to stir it with a whisk the entire time. Okay, we're at our boil. Now we want to take it down to like a heavy simmer and keep whisking until we get a syrupy consistency, and it's not going to take long at all. Now we're going to hit it with a pinch of salt and pepper. Oh, the aroma of this is amazing. As I said in the beginning, with this dish, the possibilities are endless. You make your glaze however you want to. I just know this can be spectacular. All right, I'm happy with what we got there. Now we're going to take that off the heat, and we're going to let that cool, and then we'll baste that on our beautiful pork belly the last hour or so, every half hour. All right, the 15-minute rest is done. Now it's time to carve up this monstrosity. All right, look at that beauty. All righty, let's cut into this thing. We'll start on this, the more solid edge here. Oh, well, you look at that. Just dripping with meat. With meat? Just dripping with juice. Ah, all right, let's give this puppy a try. I swear, pork belly is one of my favorite cuts. Turned out absolutely amazing. And that bourbon pomegranate glaze, the way it complements the saltiness of the pork, absolutely amazing. Definitely want to give this a try. Hey, I hope you liked what you saw today. If you did, please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button too. You'll find out when every one of our episodes get released. So, as always, thank you so much for your support. And until next time, fair winds and following seas.